Hey guys, hope you all are having a good final week and it's not too stressful. Before I start this presentation, just wanted to thank you all and Cindy Jarvis for just the Cindy for the time, the effort, and pouring out to us. I know that I've emailed you quite a bit, and just being quick with your responses and being there for us. And I've even asked you questions outside of our class, in regards to outside of our class, and I just really appreciate that. And then to my peers, I've interacted with all of you guys, and I've always appreciated your guys' feedback, and it's been fun to learn more about you guys and other internship opportunities that you guys are going through. So I wish you guys both, or I wish you guys all the best in your future endeavors. All right. So slide one, just a title page. UCR and APU internship portfolio by Matt Carvajal, PE 557. Okay, so slide two, the internship locations. I did one internship at UCR, University of California, Riverside. It was on the campus in athletic compliance, and my supervisor right there, Jessica Weaver. She's one of the assistant athletic directors. They have quite a few assistant ADs, but she's the assistant athletic director for compliance. So she was my direct supervisor. And then my other internship was at APU in strength and conditioning with Nate Nasca. Okay, slide three. All right, so we're working on the SWOT analysis. Okay, so strengths. I had three strengths for each one. At UCR, the Division One, it's a Division One university. I had always wanted, um, well, I'll list the bullets first. So it's a Division One university, which I liked. And then leading into the second bullet, it's the exact field I wanted to be pursuing. So athletic compliance has always caught my interest because compliance has to deal with the rules and regulations of athletics. um, and I was interested. It was interesting because I'm like, wait, how do coaches and athletes not know about the rules in college sports? And it's like it's almost like they're focused, like athletes are focused on playing and winning games. Coaches are similar, and they're there just to coach. And I've learned so much in compliance, and rules are continuously changing in the NCAA. They're changing, they're being refined, they're being updated, and the compliance staff. It's their job to keep coaches and athletes informed about the rules, so they're not breaking rules, obviously. And I was just always fascinated by that. I thought it was interesting. And another reason why I was fascinated by it was because one of my goals is to be a head um, college athletic director. And my supervisor at UCR, Jessica, she told me that compliance is a great foundation to work your way up because unlike other fields like we could take facilities or fundraising, business. There's athletic directors in every department, but she said compliance is great. It's a great way to work your way up because you have to know the rules. Even the head AD, she has to be aware of compliance. So it's a great way to work your way up. And then the other strength, the last strength right there, the last bullet is professional internship with assistant athletic director. So um, my internship at UCR, it seemed a little bit more professional, in the sense that um, I was working in an office. It was professional attire. They gave me books for compliance. They put me on a website, and we had like specific dates that I was coming in, and so it was more organized. It was definitely more professional in that sense, and so I appreciated that. And going into APU, there were also three strengths that I had. Um, it broadens my background of athletics. So I work out a lot, and I've worked in fitness centers and gyms, but I have no background in strength and conditioning or athletic training. And so working with Nate was good because it broadens my experience in regards to athletics. My second bullet, Nate's personality and Nate's personality is it was a huge strength, and he's very interactive, meaningful relationship. Nate was awesome. He was took I think it took us both a little bit of time to warm up to each other, but he was a great guy. It seemed like he was a supervisor first, but he also became a friend, and I really appreciated that. There were various times towards maybe the last month or two, but there would be times when I would just talk about things that God's teaching me, or struggles that I'm going through in my personal life, and Nate would talk to me about those things, and it was just great. It was great. It made it more comfortable, and it was just fun interacting with him. He's a great guy and amazing personality. And then the final strength for APU was learn more about APU athletics, athletic training, and starting from the bottom up. I didn't know this going into it until Nate had told me, but this is the first full year that APU had a strength and conditioning program. Prior to this year, they did not have that, and so Nate was literally having me work from the ground up, in the sense that I was creating basic documents, creating an application to work, creating graduate assistant applications, creating all these forms, policies, and procedures for the department. So it was working my way up, and so that was pretty cool. It was a great opportunity there. Okay, going to the fourth slide, weaknesses. UCR. Um, Commuting distance was honestly a weakness for me, especially because I work in Fullerton, and so Fullerton to UCR, or Fullerton to Riverside, is quite the distance. So it was tough at times. Um, Tough at times. It was 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes, so that was tough. The second one was basic work after first week of internship. The internship. My The first week was great. She had me in meetings and learning different things, learning the rules. It was awesome. After that, it started to be more basic, scanning documents, emailing documents, uploading them into a system for compliance called Jump Forward. And so it was a little bit more basic, which was kind of frustrating. And then on the third bullet, I was told about an opening but let down due to lack of experience. So on the very first day, the director of compliance, her name is Kelly, she took a position at the University of Virginia in compliance. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. Maybe they'll, take me on. I don't know about being the director, but, you know. So obviously they were looking for a position. They posted it on NCAA Market. Everything was posted. And then they were looking for somebody with 5 years experience. And I obviously don't have that at the college level. So they didn't even ask. They didn't consider me. So that was a little frustrating, but I got experience nevertheless. And then APU weaknesses, basic work from the beginning, and then always assured. Okay, yeah, I want to go that later. Basic work from the beginning. Nate um, always had me writing and creating documents, which is not bad in and of itself. I just think I had higher expectations and I kind of wanted more. Again, creating applications, reformatting things, and a lot of writing work. And then the second one was he always assured I would meet with the head AD and others in athletics, but fell through. Um, I forgot the head AD's name. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys know who it is. But then there's a guy, Peyton, in compliance. He told me I'd continually be able to meet with him. He was like, yeah, man, I'll connect you with him. And then I would ask him every week, and they would just say I forgot, or something would happen. So that was a little frustrating. But I mean, I guess some of that's on me too, because I mean, I could always ask. Okay, the fifth slide, SWAT opportunities. So UCR, great networking opportunities with the coaches and athletic staff. The very first day that I worked with Jessica in compliance, she literally had me walk into a meeting where she was informing coaches on more rules, and I was terrified, but I guess apparently that was part of her plan from the beginning. She told me she was going to put me on the spot, and so I walked into the meeting, and Jessica sitting in the front. And so I literally had to walk by everybody, and she was like, I don't want to put him on the spot, but this is our new intern for for compliance. His name's Matt Carvajal. So they all met me, and that was great. And then other athletic staff, everybody at UCR is in a certain department in athletics. A certain, not department, obviously, but they're in a certain they're in a section right by the practice gym, and so we're all able to interact and we all keep our doors open. So it's very personable, and for a big school, it's actually pretty family oriented. Like they are like a big family, so it's really cool. The second opportunity was just being at a Division 1 school working in compliance. And then I'm on the website as the compliance coordinator, and it says nothing about being an intern, which is super cool. Like, I'm honored for that opportunity to be at a D1 school, working in compliance, and to be on their website. And then the last one, it was just great overall experience, far greater than anything I could have expected. Just again, compliance is something that I've always wanted to experience, and then to be there at a D1 school, it was amazing. And then the opportunities at APU, again, as I talked in one of the previous slides, it broadens my perspective as far as um, just not being an athletic director or in compliance or the backgrounds that I currently have, but it broadens my perspective in the sense that it's athletic training or strength and conditioning. And then not networking opportunities with Nate. Nate was great. He was a lot of fun. And then, but he also hit one of his good buddies that I think he went to school with out in Hawaii is now working in compliance at Vanderbilt out in Tennessee. And so he gave me his contact information, and so I've been able to connect with him, which is great. Great opportunity. Vanderbilt is a huge school, so that was awesome. Okay, slide 6. The threats. Oh shoot, threats. Okay, UCR, immediate job opening, and then I was turned down because of lack of experience. That was frustrating because people will come in from outside of UCR and take what I'm trying to achieve, trying to get. Lack of confidence at times. I'm not really seen as someone who doesn't have a lot of confidence. I believe in myself, and I'm confident in what I bring to the table. But because I think I was just labeled as the internship, that continuously was like, I'm just an intern. And so that kind of get in my head. And that was on me. That wasn't anything anybody else was responsible. That was on me. But just being labeled as an intern kind of made me feel a little timid at times. And then the third bullet, did not play D1 sports. So yeah, because I didn't play college sports, um, I felt kind of limited to be able to talk about sports at the college level. I watch it. I'm a fan of it, but I'm not able to give firsthand experience. Okay, then APU. Threats. I'm not certified as an athletic trainer, or I don't have any certifications. So those who have those are obviously going to be able to pull positions that I can't. And then it wasn't the field that I was pursuing. And then the third one were graduate assistants who want to be in this field. Grad assistants were constantly trying to get in, and it was funny because it was a threat, but at the same time, it was like, I'm creating this application for you guys. Because I remember there was one week where we were focusing on applications, and Nate had me create applications for these guys. So it was a threat, but at the same time, I'm helping out with the position. So, seventh slide, values, faith, and beliefs in integration. So, prior to coming to APU, for the sports management program, I was actually considering getting a Master of Divinity and considering like theology and another Bible degree at a seminary. Um, but I kind of had a shift because I was an athletic director and a PE teacher, and I felt like God started to change my direction a little bit. And I continuously asked myself, if I'm going to shift my position and I'm going to shift what I want to do, how can I glorify God through athletics? And my favorite basketball team, college basketball team, is Virginia, and because I love their coach, Tony Bennett. He's a Christian, and I reached out to him. I think it was like 2 years ago. It was before I started the program, so yeah, it must have been 2 years ago. And I simply asked him, told him who I was, and I was like, "Hey, how do you glorify God through basketball and athletics?" And he responded. It was really cool. He responded, and he gave me these 5 pillars that he integrates to the basketball program, and they're very applicable, um, not only to athletics but to all of life. And these are things that I kept reminding myself throughout the internship. So it's one, passion; two, servanthood; then unity; humility, and thankfulness. Passion can be described as, not just giving 100%, obviously, but some of these I've refined to kind of make my own. But Tony Bennett would describe passion as not being lukewarm, from Revelation chapter 3. God calls us not to be lukewarm. Or he's talking to the lukewarm church, and he says, well, it could be described as being hot or cold. If you're going to do something, be hot or cold. Don't be halfway. Don't be lukewarm. Servanthood, serving one another and making others around you better. And then unity. Unity can be described from Mark. I want to say Mark 4. I should have wrote it down, but it's Jesus talking about a parable, and it says, "A house divided will not stand." And so just bring unity in athletics, and then as far as in an internship, just keeping unity amongst, in that supervisor relationship, internship supervisor relationship. Humility, many examples from scripture about humility, but not thinking too high or too low of yourself, knowing who you are. And then thankfulness, the last one, thankfulness. I love Paul's examples of thankfulness. He says in the last chapter of First Thessalonians, he urges us to be thankful in all things. And, whether good or bad. And Tony Bennett describes thankfulness as learning from your experiences. Even if we lose a game, we must be thankful that we're able to learn from these experiences. So yeah, those are kind of how I've integrated my faith, values, and belief into the internship. Okay, so the last slide for my strengths. Uh, my strengths, I pulled up my paper from that strengths class that we had to take in the beginning of the program. And so the first one was achiever. Um, the achiever theme helps explain your drive. An achiever feels as though every day begins at zero, and he or she must achieve something that day in order to feel good about the day. Um, I'm driven. I want to achieve. I want to succeed. And yeah, every day is a clean slate, so there's nothing I can't do. Obviously, that can come with burnout. There's a side to that, but I think Achiever did help me because I'm motivated. The second one was significance. The significance theme is the desire to feel significant in the eyes of other people. One who possesses this strength is one who wants to be heard and desires to be known. So feeling significant, I definitely had that. I didn't want to be just seen as an intern, so I kind of had to prove myself that I'm here to work and work hard. But definitely wanted, I definitely thrive off of that. The next one is relator. A relator is one who does not shy away from the relationships or meeting new people. I thrive off relationships, and so I was always eager to meet new people. That was great. I don't want to keep to myself. I want to meet more people. And then the fourth one is includer, just including people into your circle. That wasn't really used in my internship, honestly, because I'm kind of coming from the outside, so they were more including me. And then the last one is futuristic, which I think this one is the best strength that I see that I use. For one who possesses the futuristic theme, he or she is fascinated with the future. You gaze into tomorrow as if it were a picture on the wall, and this idea pulls you forward. I am fascinated with the future. I think about the future. I think about what I want in life. Whether that's certain things, pleasures, or just where I want to be, and that drives me. So all five of those were integrated into the internship. And I think, yeah, that's it. Again, thank you guys all for a great 2 terms. And I wish you guys all the best. Praying for you guys in your future journeys. All right, have a good one.